why put all on road to make sure the situation is stable. Of course, we were in the scene yesterday. We left there, myself and the local government chairman. In fact, our entourage were all there yesterday. Our fire service vehicle was also there. And we left there at about something 11 o'clock. And this morning, we're on it again, visiting all the hospitals where the patients are kept.
Of families of those who lost their lives in the road transportation.
It's sad developments there. Moving on, the tension arising from the ward and polling unit delineation exercise in Warri Federal Constituency has received fresh attention from the Delta State government, with Governor Sheriff Oborowori convening a high-level peace meeting involving leaders of the Ijaw, Ishekiri, and Urhobo ethnic nationalities at Government House, Asaba.
To implement fire in this state, and there will be fire in the country.
For weeks, conversation around the delineation exercise in Warri Federal constituency have generated anxiety among stakeholders, raising concerns about the potential impact of peace in the area. Seeking to calm frayed nerves, Governor Sheriff Oborowori brought together leaders of the Ijaw, Ishekiri, and Urhobo ethnic nationalities, alongside security chiefs and senior government officials. The discussion focused on preserving the long-standing relationships among the communities and prevent disagreements over the delineation process from escalating.
Choose not to speak, but this is the right time for me to talk. And that's why I've called you people for you just less than 24 hours notice you are here. So we're ready to work together and to sustain the agency. So I want to thank you for coming.
Speaking after the meeting, representatives of the three ethnic groups commended the governor's intervention and pledged to pursue dialogue rather than confrontation as issues surrounding the exercise continue to evolve.
I think for some time now, we've been having issues with regards to the ward and unit delineation in Warri Federal constituency, which is almost snowballing into some little disorder in the Warri Federal constituency. And the governor has called us today that and we have agreed also to
just governor has given us a marching order to ensure that there is no crisis. Actually, I assure indigenes of this state, no Ijaw man is or will plan to attack any Ishekiri man in his village. It won't happen. I assure you, and by the grace of God, there's going to be continuous peace, provided there's mutual respect for all ourselves.
Our own position regards the wall delineation. But the governor has spoken that everybody must keep their sword.
The gathering ended with a commitment by the parties to maintain peace and engage one another through lawful and peaceful channels while awaiting further developments.
The House of Representatives has released the final print of the Constitution Alteration Bill seeking to provide a constitutional framework for the establishment of state police, among others, scheduled for consideration and voting during today's plenary. A statement signed by spokesman House of Representatives Akintunde Rotimi noted that the bills represent the culmination of several constitution alteration bills seeking to provide a constitutional framework for the establishment of state police. The policing, while providing constitutional safeguards, clearly defined operational frameworks, oversight mechanisms, and delineation of powers between federal and state policing authorities. Well, a human rights lawyer, Festus Ogun, has threatened to drag the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, to court for continuing to post corps members to states other than their state of residence. Ogun, who made the threat via a Facebook page, said this practice, amid the nation's deplorable security situation, is tantamount to signing their death warrants while still alive and potentially violates the right to life guaranteed under Section 33 of the 1999 Constitution. Corps members remain primary targets for kidnappers and bandits in Nigeria, particularly along high-risk transit corridors. Some serving or prospective core members abducted in the recent past include Yunus Ameh in Abuja, Abba Musa Usman in Zamfara, and Latifa Binuyo in Kogi. Binuyo, a Lagos resident, was a prospective core member abducted along the Kogi axis while traveling to his orientation camp in Taraba State, prompting the Lagos State House of Assembly to intervene and demand rescue operations. She regained her freedom after 10 days in captivity. Still ahead on the midday news, Senate orders Kyari's arrest over alleged missing two coming up. This is TV.
TV, the heart of the matter.
Of our stories, the of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, for failing to appear before it over allegations of an unaccounted 210 trillion naira between 2017 and 2023. The decision followed Kyari's absence at the committee's investigative hearing into the alleged financial discrepancies. During the session, some lawmakers appealed to the committee chairman, Ibrahim Dankwambo, to grant Kyari another opportunity to appear from other committee members who insisted that a warrant of arrest be issued against the former NNPCL chief. Leading the opposition, Senator Abdul Ningi argued that verbal explanations for Kyari's absence were insufficient and should be supported. Claims that during the period in revenue between 20 years to be missing. Ajia also dismissed claims that 5.8 billion naira was spent on the registration of NNP evidence in support of their claims. While the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on 20 billion naira and 30 billion naira to secure electoral victory during the last primary elections, warning that the trend poses a serious threat to democratic governance and fuels corruption in public office. While delivering the inaugural high-level guest speaker series organized by the Center for Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ilorin, on Wednesday, the EFCC boss severed huge financial resources deployed during elections often compel elected officials to divert public funds after assuming office in a required to win elections. An example of what it requires organizations, labor unions, youth groups, and community associations have declared June 12, 2026, a day of nationwide protest against worsening insecurity and economic hardship across Nigeria. The coalition, led by prominent activists, including human rights lawyer Femi Falana, say many Nigerians have little reason to celebrate Democracy Day, as terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other violent crimes continue to affect communities nationwide. Remain in captivity in states such as Oyo, Borno, Katsina, Kwara, Ekiti, Zamfara, Kaduna, and valuation, increased electricity tariffs, and the soaring cost of food and transportation as factors worsening poverty and hardship. The group says the June 12 protest is intended to pressure the government to improve security, secure the release of kidnapped citizens, and implement policy. On the international scene, age of 6, tech firms include sweeping measures to ensure tech firms comply online, and as other countries, including the UK, eye similar bans. Well, President Donald Trump has said he loves the inflation as U.S. prices rose last month at their fastest rate in 3 years. Bureau of Labor Statistics figures the increase from 3 reacting to the inflation figures of oil from Iran. And on sports news, in the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, launching a sprawling tournament of 48 teams that will last nearly 6, stretching until the $5 in total revenue. Cost of tickets, while Donald Trump's immigration refused entry to the United States. Speaking in Mexico City on Wednesday, FIFA President Gianni Infantino launched a spirited defense of the organization. Well, Nigerians for the World Cup with a second consecutive parity for the Super Eagles. However, Portugal regained the advantage through substitute Francisco Conceição, who called a brilliant strike into the added into the World Cup on the back of successive wins at Adams' equalizer. As I am Ife.